Hey everyone, Ryan from Ebike Escape, and today we are without our electric bikes. We had some really nice weather for November in Wisconsin, so we went out to some trails here in Ringo, Wisconsin. They're relatively new trails. So
Hey Ryan! Hey everyone, this is Allie. We're supposed to be talking about the Sena helmet.
oh, the Sena R1 EVOs.
Exactly.
These are smart helmets that you can talk to people. So we're gonna check them out. I totally forgot. Thanks, Allie. Hey Al, how's it going?
Good. Just past the rock garden.
Yeah.
Yep. Made
Yep. Be careful there.
Another one.
I'm just waiting at the turnoff for you. You make it okay?
I had to get off.
Okay, once you get here, we gotta talk more about these helmets.
Okie dokie.
In all seriousness, we've been having a ton of fun with these helmets, mostly on our electric bikes. This is actually the first time we've been out on our mountain bikes. And what's really cool is Allie and I are definitely different skill levels. And so if she's a little bit slower, she doesn't need to rush. And I can still hear where she is and warn her of things that are coming up, or perhaps tell her that I'm taking a right turn so I don't have to necessarily keep stopping. But if you've ever been on a bike trying to talk to someone, it's not easy. I don't know how often Allie and I would yell at each other saying, What did you say? I can't understand what you're saying. And so these helmets definitely solve that issue. It's great to be in constant communication. And I think what surprised us most was the wind. You very rarely hear the wind with these. And I mean, on an e-bike, you're going upwards of 20 miles an hour or more. And the wind reduction or whatever they're using is really great. And what's cool is beyond being able to hear multiple people, so this is the mesh system. I'm going to go into more of the technical specs later in this video and talk a little bit more in depth about the features. But beyond this, you can have a bunch of people on the same intercom. So if you're going mountain biking with a lot of people, or going on your e-bikes with a lot of people, maybe even like a tour company would be kind of cool. But you can also have FM radio, and that's all can be programmed. And of course, you can connect it to your phone and listen to music and podcasts. Of course, you want to make sure you can still hear everything around you. Where the speakers are placed in the helmet, it's actually pretty easy to still hear what's going on around you. And with Allie talking, it's no more distracting than if someone was talking to you right next to you. And Allie, is there anything that I missed that you wanted to talk about?
I'd say if two of us were going on a bike ride, these would be the helmets we would pick.
Yeah.
For sure. It's just so nice to be able to say, hey, I'm going left, hey, I'm going right, there's a car behind you. Anything you need to say, it's super nice to be able to chat. And for the music, I used to listen to my phone on the handlebars, but it was never really loud enough that I could hear it. So this is a great solution to be able to listen to music.
Yeah, and of course everyone else then doesn't have to hear your music as well. I know a lot of people put speakers in their bottle cages and things like that. And actually, just yesterday we were out on our e-bikes, and a lot of times when I'm riding behind Allie, I'm obfuscating her view so she can't see if cars are coming. So it's really nice in that instance to have the helmet and be like, hey, there's a car coming, or hey, we need to stop for some reason. So all sorts of use cases.
As for the looks of the helmet, I don't think they're anything crazy stylish, but they're very comfortable. The straps are really comfortable, easy to adjust. There's an adjustable turnstile in the back, and it actually goes up and down as well in the back here, which I've never seen that in a helmet. Just a nice little feature.
These particular models look more like our mountain bike helmets, and these are for sure going to replace our mountain bike helmets that we've been using. And we opted to put the visors on both of these, only because if you can see at the front there's kind of a weird hole, and it looks a little more polished when the front visor is on. I think we both agreed. And they do sell other models of these. These are the R1 EVOs. And like I said, let's talk a little bit more about the technical specs and setup and some of the other features. So that footage was taken a few months ago, and now we have used our Sena R1 EVO helmets even more. In fact, they were the helmets that we decided to bring with us down to Florida. Being in an unknown area, it's even more important for us to be able to communicate. It's worth noting that Sena sells an R1 helmet without the EVO. This comes in at $129 as opposed to the Sena R1 EVOs that come in at $159. I will have all these models linked in the description below so you can check them out for yourself. Some of the major differences is that the R1 uses Bluetooth technology as opposed to the R1 EVO, which uses their mesh intercom system, at least when you're talking with others. Using the Bluetooth to communicate with others does limit it to 4 people, but both helmets offer an ample amount of talk time. Other notable differences is the R1 lacks the rear lights, and it also doesn't come with the visor that you see here. I've heard people rave about both helmets, and really the main feature here is being able to communicate with others, and both helmets accomplish that. The other really cool thing is Sena just announced 2 new helmets. So the R in these R1 helmets stands for road, and now they have a mountain bike specific variation. It comes in additional color of matte gray, so it's up to you. You can choose the helmet that you like the look of the best. The features are the same. I'll show you a picture up on the screen so you can kind of compare the two. What I also wanted to do was give you a little bit more of a close-up of the helmet and also talk about how we use these helmets. To start off with, here are the 3 buttons. These are your controls, and then of course you have the rear lights. Again, these are only on the EVO helmets, and right here is your charger port. It is just a micro USB port. As Ali was talking about earlier, it has one of those click wheels for adjusting. One of the things that I haven't seen on a lot of helmets is adjustability up and down. So there's this plastic piece here, and you can adjust this both up and down depending on how it fits your head better. So really like that as an option. Again, really comfortable helmets. They come with reflective straps, and this is a buckling helmet as opposed to the Fidlock magnetic clasps. So I would have liked to see the Fidlock. That comes on a lot of helmets in this price range. And there is this nice Velcro piece which is good for comfort, and it also hides the extra material from the strap. And then of course you have the speakers on each side of the helmet here, and I do believe that the microphone is located right here. Again, we opted to put on the visor because we thought it really improved the look. This one comes in 2 colors. This is the black, and it also comes in white. The next thing I want to talk about is how we actually use these helmets. So Sena includes a pretty in-depth manual that talks about all the combinations of these buttons you can push to perform different functions. But what Ali and I found works best is we've just memorized how to turn on the helmets and get on the mesh intercom. And then if you want to perform any other functions, it's best to just do it with the app while the helmet is connected to your phone. So that would perhaps include FM radio, or whether you want to listen to music, those sort of things. It's just a lot to remember, all the buttons that you need to press to get to where you want, and much easier to just use the app, which I'll try to show here. So I have the Sena app already open on my phone, and then I'm going to press both the plus button as well as the middle button, and that's going to turn on the helmet. It says preparing headset. And then it'll automatically connect to my phone. It's telling me that the firmware needs to be updated. And this is why I recommend using the app, because it's super simple to use. But if you want to just get on to the mesh intercom, then you just press the center button. It'll default to channel 1. So then in our case, then we can talk with each other. It is worth noting that you can't both play music and chat using the intercom system at the same time. That would have been a good bonus if they did include that. Now there are 2 improvements that I hope Sena addresses. The first one is it would be awesome if these helmets offered MIPS protection, and the second one is the sometimes buggy voice command. So what happens is when Ali and I are talking, sometimes what we say will trigger the keyword that initiates the voice command, and I'll show it to you here. Hello, Sena. Tail light on. And so what happens if you accidentally initiate that, you can't actually hear the person. It will eventually cancel. We typically will just turn our tail lights on and off to try to get out of it as fast as we can. And here you can see the lights in daylight. They provide a little bit more visibility at night. And there are a couple settings for the lights, and actually where it says Sena here, this is actually a button, so I can scroll through those. And then you can turn them off. And I will show you a little bit more of the app so you can see right now that the music as well as the FM radio is grayed out, and you still have the phone, LED tail light, and then you can see here that the mesh intercom is actually turned on. So if I tap that, I can turn the mesh intercom off. And if I wanted to listen to music, I can go back to the remote control and select music. This is why it's much easier to just use the app as opposed to remembering what buttons to press in order to get into these various functions. The other cool thing is if you do listen to the radio, you can preload stations, and then of course you have access to your phone, which is handy as well. I hope you enjoyed that review of the Sena R1 EVO helmets.
In the description below, there's links to all the helmets Ryan talked about today, which helps support Ebike Escape.
I will also put links to my electric bike accessories list as well as my electric bike deals page. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one. And Allie, did you have anything else to add about these helmets?
No, you said it all. I'm serious.
Wrong.